Hello fellow truth seekers and welcome back to my channel, Christ First Lion of Judah Truth TV. I'm your host Tony the Truth Seeker, and I'm here to unveil a little bit of surprising truth that most people are not aware of. And that is the connection between New Year's and the Roman god Janus. So buckle up and get cozy while I take you on this ride of ancient tradition that's against the Most High Elohim. But first, let me say that some information in this video may be sensitive to some people. And all information is based off of my own personal research and beliefs and is for educational purposes only. Now many of us partake in a lot of celebrations and traditions that have been passed down throughout our generations. And New Year's is one of them. We celebrated on New Year's Eve in the month of December on the 31st, and we count down till midnight to bring in the new year of January 1st. Then, some of us give New Year resolutions to start off a new year of new beginnings, right? But what if I told you that you're really not bringing the new year, but you're actually worshiping the Roman god Janus? Some of you would say, "No, I'm not, I worship God." And I would say if you did, you would really consider not celebrating that holiday. So this is why I'm here today, to clear up some of our confusion on what we really celebrate when we get handed down some of these traditions that we hold deep in our hearts. Alright, I'm going to start by saying when I started reading the Bible with a pure heart and really trying to seek out the Most High, my eyes was open to a lot of things that were lies in our world. And one was the holidays we celebrate. But today, we're going to focus on New Year's. The Bible states in Colossians chapter 2 verse 8, "Beware lest any man soil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the tradition of men, after the rudiments of the world, and not after Christ." Now that scripture explains how we should look at traditions today as a whole. Not getting sucked up with what everybody else is doing, but listening to what the scripture says. Also, we can use discernment and look up the history on these holidays and see if there's any attached spirits to them. Now let's touch on how the Romans celebrated New Year's. It first took place in the month of March, because that was considered the first month of the year. And even the Bible states that March was the first month of the year. It says in the book of Esther chapter 3 verse 7, "In the first month, that is, the month of Nisan, in the 12th year of King Ahasuerus, they cast Purim, that is, the lot, before Haman from day to day, and from month to month, to the 12th month." Now, when you look up the word Nisan, it corresponds to the word Abib in Hebrew, which is the first month in the Hebrew calendar. But when you dive deeper into it, it's a Babylonian name, which means the month of March. Now, the Roman calendar underwent revisions during the year 715 BC, so the month January and February wasn't added in until then. They figured it would help them align with the lunar calendar. This was done by the second king of Rome, Numa Pompilus. He added them at the end of the year as the 11th and 12th month of the year. So, that helped the king expand the calendar to 354 days, which align with the lunar cycle. But however, it still was not together with the solar year, which led to more changes as the years progressed. Then after a while, they came up with the leap year system adjustments, which Julius Caesar implemented. That means the changes wasn't done for particular reasons, but for deep symbolic religious and cultural elements in the calendar. So in 153 BC a big change happened with the Roman calendar that really helped to move January to the beginning of the year. That change was the Council of Rome, the highest of the highs of officials in the Roman Republic. but it still took a while until the government of Rome to move the New Year celebration. But by 45 BCE the celebration of New Year's took effect. And it was based on the Julian calendar commissioned by Julius Caesar to have it in January rather than March. He believed that using January as the first of the months is a new gateway or entry point into the New Year's. And also, it would be a great way to worship the Roman god Janus, because that is where the name January stemmed from. Now, a little history on the Roman god Janus. So according to ancient Roman theology, Janus is the god of beginnings, transition, and doorways. He has two faces that's looking in opposite directions, that symbolize the ability to simultaneously observe the past and the future. But as Bible believers we know that is false according to the Most High. Because it states in the Bible in Revelation chapter 1 verse 8, I Elohim, am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the ending, saith the Lord, which is, and which was, and which is to come, the Almighty. Now, as followers of Christ, Yashaya, you have to understand how important it is to know the history of the traditions you're celebrating. Because you would be exposing yourself to worshiping other gods, and that's a sin to the Most High. It states in the Bible in the book of Exodus chapter 20 verse 3, Thou shalt have no other gods before me. That's the very first commandments the Most High gave Moses to speak to the children of Israel. So celebrating the New Year's in January will definitely be a no-go according to the commandments of Elohim. As for the Romans, they embraced celebrating the New Year in January, because they got to honor their lesser god Janus, which they thought he represented the past and the future. That way the Romans can forget about their past transgressions and look forward toward future possibilities. And this is where the tradition of having a New Year resolution came about. Also, during that time the pagans and the heretics celebrated the New Year by being intoxicated and committing fornication with one another and all together sometimes. I now can see the connection of today's time when people celebrate it. And it states in the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 1 verse 9, The thing that hath been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun. Now, by that scripture is letting us know as believers that anything in today's time is nothing new we came up with. History always repeats itself and change or slightly tweak a little bit to get us to fall like we did in the latter days. So please, do your own research so you will understand the power and the connection when celebrating this pagan day called New Year's, which is not even considered the real first day of the year according to the Most High Elohim. In conclusion, now we know that celebrating New Year's has deep rich tradition that ties back to ancient Rome, giving the pagan god Janus worship and glory. We now know for a fact it is an abomination unto Elohim, the God of all creation. I hope that this information has opened your eyes on this specific holiday, and will definitely start looking up the history on future holidays that's been passed down on us. It states in 2 Timothy chapter 2 verse 15, Study to shew thyself approved unto God, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. So now we come to the end of this video, my truth seeker family. Thank you for all your time, and may the Most High Elohim bless you and your family. As always, keep Christ first in everything you do. And please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel on your way out, or give a comment if you choose to. Love Christ first.